Hey guys, this is the fourth or fifth video, depending on whether you watched the first 3 or 4 videos of this series. Okay, so here's the rest of it. And so the last video was pretty cool. What have we been doing? We've been talking about how we can flip on dynamic sections for every single page, and we can rearrange the order of those sections. We can flip some off, and the rest of the page will just roll up to fill the gap, no problem. So we can split test pages, and then we showed how we can do that easily and efficiently through one entire website or more than one entire website. And the whole point is to be able to get people to spend more time on the pages and or click on more things on the pages. And so we're registering that as separating bots from click fraud and bounces, and then separating that from interested people. And then once we have interested people, we track how far down they scroll and what they click on, and we track everyone individually, like where they're from and are they from the same area as what would be expected for the pages they're on. Like this is Seattle Expert Locksmith Services. So if somebody's here and they're in Boston, Massachusetts, then that's not an actual match. They're looking at the website for a different reason. We don't know what it is, but it doesn't have to do with the sale, most likely, right? But for interested people who are in the area, say, we can filter for that. We're tracking how far down they scroll on a page, what they click on. We call that engagement score. Everything they click, we call an engagement score. And if they spend time on another page, we track how far down they went on the page. And then if they click something, we call that another engagement, right? So we're tracking the power of the people, and we could have a live chat agent here. We could have a pop-up, welcome pop-up, or an exit pop-up. We can use a call to action now. You can use different hooks. You can have your newsletter on the page, payment options on the page, whatever it is that you want people to do, and you're giving them some choices, right? Then we got further. We said that the web pages can be trained to have a purpose. You can give purpose to every page. And when you do, then the pages work to accomplish the purposes. So some of that is accomplishing, like, get at least 50% of the people, humans, who are interested, not the bots or the bounces or the click fraud, but the rest of the people, get 15% of them or better to watch the video. So then if the page is tracking that people are scrolling down to a certain point and leaving, and the video's down here, the page will automatically move the video up above the spot where on average they're leaving, so that it's visible. Because how can you get 15% views if people left the page before they even saw the video was on the page, right? Most people cannot see that in their visitor tracking. They see that people landed on the page, but do you know how long they were on the page? Do you know how far down they scrolled? You only know if they clicked another link to another page, right? Or if they clicked a link to an email or to call a phone number or some Google tag, right? If you're using Google Tag Manager and they happen to click whatever it is you're tagging, right? But we track everything. Everything possibly clickable we track. We track all the video interactions and everything else. Now what? If there's a section of the website that's causing, if people are all leaving, well, mostly leaving on this section, if there is a predominant number of people leaving on a given section, the website will move the section down. It'll assume the section's important, or else you wouldn't have made it. I mean, you could always turn it off. But until you do, the website will think it just got seen too early and it'll move it down. And then if people are still scrolling down, they see that section and they leave, it'll move it down again. It knows to keep moving it down. And until it gets basically to the bottom. And if people are still not interacting with it in any meaningful way, it'll just flip it off because it's useless, right? It's really in the way. And you can track how often the page checks for the results like that. So the page will move the video up. It'll move bad sections down. It'll move the newsletter up. It'll move the payment options up. But payment options and newsletter, it assumes that should be near the end when you're mostly convinced that you're impressed with the page, right? When you land on the page, you're mildly curious and ready to go. As you start to move down the page, your curiosity increases. You start to become interested. You start to become, really impressed to some degree with something or hooked on something. need, greed, curiosity, or fear, and you keep going and you get truly interested, maybe even excited, right? So now you're at a point where you should convert if you haven't already by clicking something, right? A conversion action. So having said all that, I've said all that for a long time. Where do we pick up from there? The next part. If the website moves the video up and now people are going past it, it will check the repository to see if you put other options for the videos, and it'll swap it out automatically and see if the next video does a better job. You know, if it can hit the goal of at least 15% viewership. And if not, it'll try the next video after the right number of count of people. Like every 25 people, whatever you set for the frequency of analysis. And it'll just keep going through the loop, right? If it gets to the bottom video and it's hitting the goal, great, right? And whenever it does hit the goal, you can see which video is working on that page. So you can toss out the ones that didn't work, the video options from the repository, and maybe you've made some new videos you could try out. Then you can raise the percentage higher to force it to keep swapping. Okay, all of this is massive. It erases the need to split test because we already build in the logic into the pages, and the pages operate independent of each other completely. The left hand does not know what the right hand is doing. Each page is rearranging to maximize how long, the amount of time people spend on the page and or things they click on, while your other page is rearranging, and those rearrangements can be very different. Could be the video's best placed here on this page, but best placed there on that one. Very possible. Could be the newsletter should be down here, but it should be up here. Very possible. What else? Like even the sign up, the subscription, could be that you said, join our newsletter. Get on our newsletter for tips and tricks and stuff. And the buttons, and then after putting name, email, phone, whatever you flipped on, then the button says submit. And you set it for a 1% conversion rate and it's not happening. The system will look in your repository for changes to the wording. Instead of saying join our newsletter, it's going to say coupon code for 10% off your next order, or something like that. Get 10% off your next order. And then the tagline, instead of saying join our newsletter for tips and tricks and stuff, it'll swap it. So it'll say sign up below to get the coupon code for 10% off your next order. And then instead of the button saying submit, it'll say get the code, right? So then they put their name, email, phone, whatever, and get the code, right? For 10% off the next order. Do you realize the value of when the pages can rearrange the sections and it's watching and it's tracking and it's counting? So how does something like that even look in the back end? Because we're also, the back end of the website, we're also tracking where the visitors are, so we can tell if they're in the right area, you know? And if you've got our live AI chat agent, you're picking up any kind of data that comes through them too. And also, one last thing before I forget, just in case, because I want to make sure that this is remembered. People said, what if I'm trying to track the stats you have in the time zone you're showing, but also I have my own visitor tracking I plugged into the website, but that's showing a different time, and I have to keep remembering to match the times all the time. Gotcha. We got your back. There's a spot in here where you can go and you can choose the time zone from a big old list of time zones around the planet. Africa, America, anywhere else, right? And you can just type something in like Los, for Los Angeles, and you'll see it. And you'll be like, that was the one I needed. Pacific Coast, not Eastern Standard Time or whatever. And that way, when you do that, what are you doing? You are matching the system time zone to whatever tracking system you're using so that the times line up. So it's really fast and easy for you to know which person's interested in what and when you compare, right? So it's up to you. Just whatever you want to use for tracking, you can match the time zone in the tracking system in this system. So there's that. What else have we got for user tracking? Let's walk through some of this stuff. I'm going to start with statistics. Statistics are a big point view. Now, the point I want to make, this website that we are on is just a work website of ours. This is not like a real website. People shouldn't even be landing here. Our programmers are here. I come here. Once in a while, some other weird guy appears for whatever search he did that brought him here. I don't even know. But let me do this real quick. Some people were saying, hey, how can your website be optimized if you didn't minify the HTML code? The answer is it's not minified at this step. This is where we're working, so we want the code to be really easy to see and change for the programmers because this is live workspace, right? Compressing the code is when you're done. So that's not on this website. This is where we're just testing stuff. It's compressed on our final websites, the ones that go out to the people. Okay, just so you know. Okay, now, the most redirected link. Again, it's a work site, so it's the pound sign. What do you know? For those of you that don't know, that's what you put on a link when you don't have a real link, right? Let me see if I can just find, a pound sign really, really fast. We got oddball links in here, and then some of these just kind of got like overridden with other links. Pound sign is when the link just has the domain.com/pound or domain.com pound. And it really means it's supposed to act like a link, but if you click it, it doesn't go anywhere. It stays right here on the same page, right? Now, since you're going to wind up with a pound sign in a whole lot of your spots, it's going to be the most obviously often clicked on link. But once each spot is actually dedicated to a different web page or whatever, or a different, thing, then it's just which link gets clicked on the most, right? It's interesting to know. What about the most scrolled page? Well, it's the index page in our case, 100%. Because I keep doing these videos and showing you from the top of the page to the bottom, okay? So it's the most scrolled page, okay? I could change that by going to one of the inner pages and scrolling down over and over again, okay? Newsletter form submissions and clicks on the payment form. These are things we track, right? Now, most viewed section on exit. What that really is a misnomer. It means what section did somebody get down to and then they left, right? That's what that really means. So on this particular theme, which isn't the theme we're on, let me see if I can make that point clear really, really fast. Themes, right? There are different themes in the admin panel. Here's one called We Restart. Notice it has a different layout than the one we're on now, which is called Sparrow. Okay? So there's brain tag. There's other variations. There's just things in here. Okay? So it's tracking all that though. On the We Restart theme, whenever we have that active and going, on the index page, 77 people got down to here and left. It's not telling us a percentage of total here, but it is telling us that this is the most common thing clicked by the most people in this website's page. Okay? Then it says in this theme on this page, right, 70 people got down to here and then left somewhere in the content. Wow. So we're kind of like seeing the most where the interest breaks off in each case. They got here and left. They didn't continue. They left, right? Things like that. So this stuff is really useful because it gives us a huge understanding of where we are on this stuff, right? Okay, what else? I mean, I gave you that. What else? By the way, self-optimization progress. I told you that the website looks for us to tell it how many people between rearrangements, between the logical steps, like 25 or 100 or 50 or whatever it is you think is the right number. If you put in a number too low, it's going to chaotically keep rearranging because everyone's different. If you put in a number too high, you're losing the opportunity to make some rearrangements when you probably could have done it sooner. I recommend a number like 20 or 25, but in your industry, you'll have a better understanding of what your own sample size feels like to you, depending on your industry or depending on your offers, right? So then you can just save things like that and it'll learn to do the frequency at that number. So you can come back and change it later. You can make it faster or slower in case you were a little off in the beginning as far as you're concerned. What else? And by the way, that's why I tell people spend money on ads, even if you want to go for the organics, because the goals are the same. If people land on your pages from ads, they should spend some time on the page and or click some things. Same with organics. When they land on the page, they should spend some time on the page and or click some things. So if you're doing a match of the right keywords landing on the right page, not all the keywords going to your home page, that's so dumb. That's how so many people spend so much money in ads, because the match is flawed. It's just a fuzzy match. But if you have 4 pages, commercial locksmith, residential locksmith, emergency locksmith, and automotive locksmith, this should go to your commercial page, your residential page, your emergency page, and your automotive page. Better matches. And so then people will stay on the page longer and or click more things, and Google will reward you by raising you higher for less cost on your ads because you're less risky, right, than your competitors. The better you can outperform your competitors, and that's what we're doing here, letting your websites do it for you on a page-by-page basis. Every web page is looking to maximize the conversion rate that it's told to maximize per page, with the left hand not knowing what the right. Every page is optimizing perfectly. While your websites by your competitors, they don't even know what percentage of the people hitting their page are bots instead of humans, or how much click fraud there is, or how disinterested they are. With our system, you can track and separate out. You can segregate out the things that are not working for you and can them, and double down on the things that are. But your web pages are already rearranging. So what is the point of doing PPC real fast? Why put out a website and wait for 2 months or 3 or 4 to get enough traffic for your pages to start rearranging themselves as people land on each of the pages, when you can just go and pay for some ads and get like 100 people to land on the pages now, today, for like, I don't know, 20 cents each, you know? So maybe you spent $20, but you know what happened? Your pages got to make like 4 evolutions to improve upon themselves for that $100 in one day. Isn't that worthwhile? I sure think so. Now, I just said 20 cents. I mean, when you start your ads, you probably get 2, 4, 5 cents, because maybe you're getting a lot of bots out of it, right? And you're getting a lot of clicks. But our system is separating out the stats. It does not take the stats for the bots and the disinterested people and the click fraudsters, because it doesn't take the stats. Even if 80% of the people land on the page are garbage, it's the 20% that mattered. So you can try it. You can aim for a lower budget and let the crap fall where it may, because the good things that come out of it are still going to help your web pages go through their evolutions. Okay? Or raise your bid some, and you get a better quality of people landing in the first place, probably, right? But you could start here and work your way up and see what happens. Isn't that interesting? So you can do 3 months worth of evolution in a day or 2. Your pages can rearrange fast. If they can go through 25 people an hour, they will. No problem. So now that you did all that, your pages can perform a lot better organically, even if your PPC just isn't getting you paid. You can flip it off. But your pages are performing better organically. And what if your PPC is starting to work now after those evolutions? Especially work better. Leave them both rolling. Let your organics improve and your PPC keep going because it's profitable. You're trying to get at least 2 income streams. All the money you can get organically, that is profit. All the money that comes off the ads could be paying you today while the organics are growing on a slow rate, because they just will, right? They don't grow fast. They kind of grow slow. But if you need to get paid now, PPC might be starting to happen for you already, because you're making your web pages better. Okay? I'm going through a lot of stuff, I know. All right. User exits. Literally, I'm just showing you, right? And we can drill in, okay? We're tracking the IP addresses. We do match to city, state, and country. You might say, how come it's all blank? That's because we didn't start tracking that till later. So if you look at the dates, these are much more recent. And then this is long, long ago, a couple of years ago and half a year ago, whatever, right? We've been kind of like juggling all the different powers. So this is me, Snoqualmie, Washington, this is me. Faisalabad in Pakistan, that's crew members. And This guy out of the United Kingdom, I do not know who this guy is or what he's doing here. He landed on the page for reasons I don't know. Now, can I drill in like on this guy in the UK? Yeah, you know, I can click the eyeball here and I can see more about this guy. Okay? And so that is him. That is him. He went to these different sections of these different pages, right? Before he exited, these are user exits. Okay? It tells us what exits represent up here. I mean, we're paying attention. We can filter. Okay, but on these dates, so I can tell if he was on this website more than one day. Yeah, 2023, late November. 2024, early February. You get that? And again, the dates that are shown here are based on the date setting that I had as, you know, the system setting, right? At the time. Okay. And yeah, we can export the data. I think you saw the button there, right? Do we have all this export data? It's the same thing as here when I say download the tracking data across all the websites. It exports all of this into lined up columns, right? So that we can do apples to apples comparisons. Isn't that nuts? And then act on it. What else have we got? Oh, by the way, because of the data, we can make large assumptions. We can make decisions based on the collective data, right? User scrolls, okay? Average scroll or scroll down. This guy, that's me, scroll down 100% on this page here, right then and there. That's a human, man. Most likely. I mean, it could be that a bot landed and scrolled to the bottom and stopped. But if I want to check right here, I could look in to see more details on what this guy's like. Oh, he doesn't just go to the bottom every time, does he? He goes part of the way down, and it's totally different percentages on whatever the different pages at the different times. Sure looks like me showing you a demo, doesn't it? You know? And all these hits from like today and yesterday, right? Like prepping for a demo and doing a demo, right? Makes sense, right? So all this stuff, again, export the data. We can actually use this data to make intelligent decisions about what to do on the website every like 25 people by tracking all this stuff. And when we're swapping sections, that changes the percentage down, but we can tell if they're leaving from the same section name, the same section. Okay? So we know what's going on. Users' actions. Okay, that's the whole thing about get the engagement score, the clicks, right? We can sort by high or low engagement scores. And again, I mean, this stuff, nobody's supposed to be here. That's just us working in this website. See how these are hyperlinked? Yeah, I mean, it's just another way of digging into the details, right? Like I could click on this and see the details of where it is, time zone, all that jazz. If all of my visitors come out of here for whatever weird reason, if 90% of my market, instead of being from the US, is from Great Britain, you know, or United Kingdom, say, you know what I would do when I notice that? I would switch my my visitor tracking to that time zone. And if I can, any related visitor tracking to that time zone. At least I do it in the system, say. So I know what, if these guys are checking me out before they go to work or after they get off work or in the middle of the night or what. And if they're doing that the same way on a Wednesday and a Saturday, right? Does that make sense? I think so. Okay, I mean, I could check out the page they were looking at. Just click it and let it open in a different link and see what they saw, so I can look at the best converting pages and see how they're arranged to get common sense clues. Where is the video on the page? What's the call to action? Is it low? Is it high? Or what? Right? I can figure it out. Okay? So what happened here? Section name in the header, action this. The page was that. I guess on this page, I clicked a link that brought me here, and that is the engagement score. Being here, clicking a link in the header that took me here, gave me a click score, right? Does that make sense? So that happened then. Do I want to dig deeper? I can do that, right? I can learn all the stuff about this user, the one user, this guy, me, right? I can look at everything that's been going on, right? For how long and stuff. You know what we're going to do one day? I think, because I think this is fascinating. For people who come back over an extended period of time, all of you guys who have the AI live chat agent, right? I don't know how many of you don't know about it, but there's chatforme.ai, okay? Just want to make a reference to it now because it's ours. So that means we can do what we want with the coding. Oh, I've been having this all day. I think SSL is updated on the server. All right. So here you can get yourself a chatbot, like this thing that opens up on the side, show you kind of what that looks like, but it's an AI chatbot, okay? So that chatbot can pop up after some seconds. Watch. This one here, right? Boom. All right. And it can start a conversation and it can give me stuff that's useful and so on and so forth, right? So you know what? What if this thing also tracks the conversation by IP address? So the reason you see all of this here is because it recognizes me, right? So it's keeping the thread. That way, if I ask him more questions, it won't be dumb. It won't have to start off by saying, who are you? Here's what we offer. No, it already saw everything we talked about. So it can keep the conversation going without having lost the thread, okay? It knows my IP address. What if we can train it to make an offer to a guy who hits an engagement score of 3, 4, or 5? Hey, we'll give you 25% off today. You know, hey, if you saw this page, which we know the guy did, then we can give you 15% off if you engage now at this level, right? Wouldn't that be interesting? We can communicate with those guys anonymously without needing to know anything about them. Other than that IP address does seem to be quite interested in what we've got, so we can just make them an offer. See what they say, right? Anyway, and our system, yeah, we can block IP addresses, right? Blacklist IP addresses and stuff. Even our live chat agent can keep track of whether the person shows any interest or just says, screw you, and then closes it. And then we're like, screw you back, and then blacklist the IP address. You know, just whatever. I'm not trying to play games here. I'm just saying that the functions are all in place. They all work, okay? So anyway, I think you're starting to get the idea. I mean, our pages can rearrange themselves, and we're tracking all the actions for all the visitors. What am I missing? User actions, user scroll. Oh, this. Let me show you something fun. I mean, it's all fun, I hope. All right, let me go for, I wonder what I should go for. Let me just go for index, okay? I'm going to do it for Sparrow index. Let me just see. I'm going to dig in. That's the theme we're on, the main page. I believe I enabled a video here somewhere. So I'm going to do a search for a video. I did. Heck, I even got 2. Okay, guess what? And this is the thing I wanted to say, because we have it for any action. In other words, you don't need the Google Tag Manager because we track everything. I mean everything. And you can apply rules to your web pages so that they know what their purposes are. Isn't that wild? They know what their goals are and work to achieve them. Watch this. One of these videos, I think it's this one actually. Okay, there are no alternatives in the system. No goals have been set for the video, and the priority is low. What if I change that? What if I say I want 15% minimum is the goal, and I want to make it a high priority? All right. Let me just sort. There we go. The video has a priority of high with a goal of at least 15%. I should put in some alternatives, shouldn't I? Like, what about the other video? So just to make the point, right? There was the other video. I got different plans. I mean, we can add alternatives and we can add goals and priorities. Some of these are defined, some aren't really defined, so they don't offer alternatives exactly. I mean, you could click, but it's like, what is the alternative based on, right? But we will add more and more power to this thing as we go. So watch. In this first case, I'm going to add an alternative. And so far, I just got one video we should see. But say I had 4, right? Or whatever. I don't care. So I'm just doing this so you get the idea, right? Say those are, 3 different videos from YouTube that I made on my channel that I think could work on that page. Okay? Different pitches. I'm going to save. Right? And then just cancel out of here because I don't need it. Let this thing update. Okay. There. It's showing it, right? For this thing. So there you go. If the first video fails to hit 15% by the time it checks 25 people from here, self-optimization progress of 25, okay, then it will swap it out for the next video in the list and try that one for the next 25 people. That one right there, this one right here. And if that fails, it will try this one for the next 25 people. And if that works, it will not try this one because it doesn't know if it's going to have a better or worse result. That one's hitting the goal. Don't fix it if it ain't broke. Now you might say, oh, I see what people are interested in. I've got some better ideas for videos too. So now you're going to come in here. You're going to go to the alternatives, get rid of the ones that were the wrong idea. Leave the one that's good maybe and try some new ones, right? Right? That you may now based on what you've learned. Does that make sense? Oh yeah. And because we want to make sure it tests them, we're going to raise the percentage higher, maybe 20 or 25%. Does that make sense? So now it's forced to go through the cycling again. So if it was only getting like 18%, we gave it a new goal of 20, right? So we're going to see what happens as it goes cycling through again. Isn't that neat? Every one of your web pages can handle their own rules independently for their own pages, and they can use the same repository videos or different ones. But if you put in a stack of the same, guess what's going to happen? The best matching video as it goes through evolutions is going to be matched to the people. Okay. So this is huge. I don't know anybody that has this kind of self-evolution capability built into their websites, right? And then we have that running through remote control so that we can absolutely control everything on all the sites, right? And then that way we can make sure always to get the best combinations out there. We can force faster and faster conversion rates, better and better percentage gains. Does that make sense? So yeah, when you're coming into our services, they are expensive, right? They're not cheap. It's not like $150 and we got something for you. Yeah, it's the SSL search. So it's been doing this to me like all day long. Come on. There we go. It'll stop. About once a month, all the SSL certs update on the server and DNS propagation can take a day. All right, so anyway, you come to professional services at website-installer.com. Okay, website-installer.com, professional services, and you'll see all these things, right? Usually the cheap stuff, the cheaper it is, kind of means that you're already on a roll, okay? And so you're just boosting, you're accelerating. You're getting something extra for it, like tools to review it. But if you don't, kind of got to start at the beginning. So the stuff isn't that cheap. You can pay by the year, pay by the month. The difference is when you pay by the month, it slows down our ability to deliver. This can take like 9 months to deliver because you're tying our hands, right? It takes us a while to actually build it up. But if you can do this, we can move quick and those results can hit quick. Okay. Anyway, you can watch the videos. You can see what these things are all about. You can check this stuff out. Okay. And then there's even this. The crazy thing about this monster, right, is that this is all of our real powerful software with all the tools that are here, along with what you need to upload the websites and the templates and install them immediately and auto write through them all, everything, and then do all the stuff you want to do with them. You have the ability to build like we can build in a theoretical sense, but it's a real sense too. you can make on your own, maybe in a couple of months, all of these 800 different websites that are real websites that backlink you at your mother website. SSL search, I can't believe it. Our sites are fast, trust me. Oh, that one. That one's just old domain. I gotta go and check some of these out. Let me try another one. Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can find a cooler one. Boom. Oh my God. Here we go again. Yeah, it's DNS propagation. Okay, maybe I should just cut this off. Anyway, what I have happening here, and it's the thing to make the point about, yeah, that one's been partially set up. We got to get the front pages done, but you can kind of see that pages have been started, at least for these things. And we got to go back and update the main elements. But yeah. Okay. Guess why? Because we do the sites in stacks. So we can even download all the data from all the sites into a single spreadsheet and then sort the columns and check one after the next to make sure that we've done all the pieces for all the websites, stuff like that. And then that way we know if we've missed anything. And once we have it all done and it's all proofread or approved or whatever it had to be, then what? Then we get to apply visitor tracking rules that make sense, right? And we get to flip on the auto self-regulation, self-improvement process. And that way these things can just take off and do what they're supposed to do, you know? It's got all the interlinking, external linking, cross-linking, all that stuff. You know, the images even have alt codes that are different for every single image. There's no cheating, okay? And then they got like follow and no follow tags on the links for links that leave the site. Of course, you can't put no follow for interlinks. It doesn't make any sense at all. So we don't. We separate those things, if you can believe that. We got banner ads that click through. All this stuff is powerful. So if you can make tons of sites like that and they all have everything going right, even schema, you know, and you can line them up and decide how you want to tier backlink through the deep level pages, which we already built into our system. So you press a button and 100 pages on this site can look through 5 different sites with 100 pages each and look for in paragraph wording matches to any of those pages and decide to create links through to them on different pages for the different keyword matches, up to a max number of links per page, up to a max number of links per site. No spam, none. And that way we can link through sites that link through sites that link through sites and get the absolute best benefit out of it all. Sound good? Give me a call, those of you that don't know, or go to website-installer.com and get in the game. Do some studying of the different options there under professional services to see what we offer and what makes sense for you. You know, obviously, the bigger your budget, the bigger we can go. And also, don't think in terms of, wow, that looks more expensive. Realize this. The higher the economy of scale, the dramatically cheaper the cost, right? And the much better the service gets to become, because you're not paying for elbow grease to get things done. We've automated everything that takes other people tremendous numbers of man hours to accomplish manually. So when you're paying us to think through the strategies and put the stuff up and be able to modify, improve, monitor, let the website self-monitor, all of that, so that you get the best results. And it means that we can actually get you going on something fast that could even be started on pay-per-click ads to self-optimize the pages if you want to do that. And also to see if you're already profitable on pay-per-click. Could be you get a project from us or a set of projects from us. Some you want to put on pay-per-click. Some you want to learn from the other ones. You could put one on pay-per-click to train 10 websites. Because we'll download the data and push the best combinations out to the other websites. How's that for efficient? Okay, I think I made plenty of points. I've gone through a lot of videos. There's a ton for you to digest. So I hope you enjoyed this series that we did and understand the crazy power that we have. If you've been going through a number of videos, you're getting a real sense of what kind of power is here. It's insane. And what we can do next is still insane. So yeah, realize it's not just who writes the best GPT content wins for a week until the competitors beat them back. We do way more than that, right? First we make our web pages with no coding errors, max page speed, maximized on-site SEO, and the pages are organized properly. We do topical authority with sub-niches that minimize gaps in the training. And then we have no overlapping topics. We're not telling Google two different pages that are supposed to rank for the same keyword from the same site. You don't make a page for Seattle dentist and make a whole different page for dentist in Seattle. Both those keywords belong to one page. So you strengthen it by having both work on the one, not having two pages for the same keyword, right? Make your next page for family dentist in Seattle, and that'll cover all the combinations that relate to that. Okay. Guys, give me a call or hop in, depending on what you understand you want, okay? If you don't know, watch some of the videos for these things. Just keep understanding what's going on here. It's really crazy. By the time you get to here, each website, right? Once you have this on a server, like our servers, once you have this, it covers everything you need. It covers the monitoring tools you need, room on our servers, okay? It covers all this stuff. And the live chat agent when you're paying full, okay? You got to pay full to get all this stuff. But you get all the pieces and you get all the training. You can just watch the videos, monkey see, monkey do. You do not have to understand SEO. Follow the samples and you're going to cover a lot of ground really fast. And if you make some dumb mistakes, it's okay. You paid to contact me so that you could get answers, right? The whole point is what? At this level, once you have that, each next website is the domain name plus the cPanel. So it's like $20 a year, okay? So 100 websites, 100. Costs you like $2,000 a year plus the content, the writing out the GPT-based pages, unless you're hand typing it, but I wouldn't recommend that. So if you're creating content with GPT, right, through the API, your websites write themselves while you're out sleeping, fishing, playing with your kids, hanging out with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is you're doing, okay? So your system can run everything for you, but the economy of scale means that each of your websites, if you think $40 for the content, $20 for all the images that you want, plus $20 for the domain name of the cPanel, you're talking about websites that cost you less than $100 each a year. So even if they cost you $100, what if you made them and rented them out for $150 a month? I mean, that's not even a joke. That's not only is it not a joke, you can let the websites automatically improve themselves and yet bill people for the equivalent man hours. Because you don't have to tell the people that you do the work for that all this stuff is automated anyway. And even if they find out, it's still worth it. Because you can help them excel over their competitors by just focusing on doing the work right. Okay? Yeah, I mean, we're at your back. Guys, this is a crazy system. I don't know anyone in the nation who has a system that can do this much, this fast, this efficiently, so that you can just focus on strategy instead of the elbow grease of things. All right, hope you're interested. Let me know what you're interested in, and let's see what we can do for you, because we can do a ton, man. We can sell all the leads to all the websites in the nation if we want. We can build tons of websites and resell them to interested buyers, because the websites we make them are far better than the websites they made for themselves. And that's true for their partners, their downlines, their franchises, their fans. Maybelline can have the resellers, the ladies who resell Maybelline, and they could each have their own website that's totally awesome and beautiful and set up for them that they just rent. And we can make it work in their area for their thing, right? So that they show up for their keywords in their area as the woman to go to for Maybelline. All right. I hope this makes sense. Give me a call whenever if you don't know what you're selling, give me a call, because we can help guide you in a direction that makes sense for you. All right. Talk to you later.